Hey, if you are wondering what memory card should I get for my camera, then you've come to the right place. Today, I'm gonna share with you how many pictures a memory card can hold and which SD card is best for your DSLR or mirrorless camera. Now, if you don't care about how memory cards work and just want my recommendation on which card to buy, it is this one. Then that would be the 64 gig SanDisk Extreme Pro, and there's a link in the description to pick it up for yourself on Amazon. Now, if you are still here, then you are my kind of people, because in this video, we're gonna be focusing on 3 key areas to memory cards: storage, speed, and safety. So let's get into it. Hey, I am Raymond Hatfield. I am a professional wedding photographer, host of the Beginner Photography podcast, and over the past, 10, 12 years, I've gone through a lot of memory cards. Now, this is a memory card. Technically, it is called an SD card, and the large majority of camera makers use them today. So if your card looks anything like this, then again, you are in the right spot. First off, let's tackle storage. One of the most common questions I'm asked when it comes to memory cards is, how big of a memory card do I need? How much storage? They commonly come in storage sizes of 16, 32, 64, 128 gigabytes. But to know how much storage we need, we actually need to know how big your photo file sizes are. This right here is a 24 megapixel camera and typically produces photos around 20 to 30 megabytes. To find out how big the file sizes are for your camera, find a photo on your computer, right click, and then either click more info or properties, and you'll see it right there. Each photo is going to be slightly different in size, so just look at the average of 5 to 10 photos. It doesn't have to be precise. Next, we need to know how many photos you're going to be taking. You probably don't have an exact number, of course. That'd be like guessing how many marbles are in a 5-gallon bucket. But we can assume that you will take far less photos if you were just shooting in your garden versus if you were taking a week-long trip to Italy, right? Now, a 16 gigabyte card is 16,000 megabytes. So if each photo from my camera is 30 megabytes, that means that I can take about 533 photos with a 16 gigabyte card. For a 32 gigabyte card, we would then take 32,000 megabytes divided by the average file size of your photos. Now, if your camera takes 10 megabyte photos, then a 32 gigabyte card would allow you to hold 3,200 photos. And then you can keep going with that math if you wish to, figure out the other memory card capacities. At a wedding, I typically take between 4,000 photos. And then when I'm out with my family, I just typically take between 40 to 100. So rather than buying just a 16 gigabyte card for photos taken with the family and a 128 gigabyte card for weddings, I would just buy a single 128 gigabyte card so that would give me the most flexibility, since memory cards are reusable. So this begs the question, what size memory card should you get for your mirrorless or DSLR camera? For everyday use and the occasional trip or vacation, I think that a 64 gigabyte card is probably the best option in terms of price and usable storage. And at 30 megabytes per photo, a 64 gigabyte card can hold 2,132 pictures. And if that's all the information that you needed, again, there are links in the description for you to find my recommendations on Amazon. Next, let us tackle speed. The 2 most common types of SD cards are UHS 1 and UHS 2. Think of these as speed ratings, with the UHS 1 card being the most common. It's fine if you're just shooting, for yourself. UHS 2 is much higher speeds, and it's preferred by professionals who they either take a large burst of photos and, they need them to be transferred from the camera's buffer to the card as fast as possible, or wedding photographers like myself who may not shoot bursts of photos, but we, need all the images to be transferred from the card to the computer as fast as possible at the end of the night. I'm tired. Now, if you've never said to yourself, why is this taking forever to transfer? Then a UHS 1 card is going to do you just fine. But if you do find yourself waiting, then pick up a UHS 2 card. My recommendation is the Lexar Professional 2000 times series cards, like this one right here. SanDisk also makes a UHS 2 card, which I have, and I've never had any issues with it either. So if you had to decide between the two, I would simply just choose whatever was cheaper in that moment. Again, I'll have links to both of these cards in the description so that you can pick out whatever one is cheaper for yourself. And lastly, we have security. All of the photos that you take are going to be saved onto the SD card, right? So making sure that those photos are safe is pretty important. The first line of defense when it comes to keeping your photos safe is simply making sure that you don't buy some knockoff, no-name brand with no history of data protection. So if you're looking at brands like SanDisk, Lexar, Sony, PNY, Samsung, you can trust that those cards, are going to protect your photos with a pretty high level of certainty. But, if security is the name of the game for you, then Sony actually makes a line of tough cards. These things are made out of metal. They are waterproof, shockproof. I saw a demo once where a tough card was boiled and it still worked. They are more expensive, as you can imagine. But again, if that's what you need, it's there for you. Also, when it comes to security, it's really important to remember that while you can reuse memory cards, they do have a lifespan. And I think most people can, get away with 2 years without a single issue. But for me as a wedding photographer, I just replace all of my cards once a year. The price of storage has plummeted over the past few years. So it's not really a huge expense compared to losing an entire wedding from a bad SD card. I also think that this SD card wallet that I got from Think Tank is pretty nifty. I was skeptical at first, but holy cow, this thing has really saved me so much time and headache. If the SD cards are in here and I can see their label, then I know that they're empty and formatted and ready to use. But if a SD card is backwards, say on a wedding day, then I know that SD card has been shot to and needs to be transferred to a computer. So let's wrap this up. If you shoot casually, the SanDisk Extreme Pro SD card is the best option for you. If you shoot semi-professionally, the Lexar UHS-2 1667 times card is the right choice for you. And if you shoot professionally, then the Lexar Professional 2000 series UHS-2 card or the SanDisk Extreme Pro, also UHS-2 Extreme Pro Max card is the right choice for you. There's so much. I understand why it's so confusing. And lastly, if your images are of paramount importance, then of course the Sony Tough cards are the, I would say the only choice, but they are the best choice for you. Let me know which card you are going to pick up in a comment below. And remember, links to everything I talked about today are in the description below for you to find on Amazon. Now that is it for today. Remember, the more that you shoot today, the better you will be tomorrow. Talk to you soon.